Exit made this.
Shalom, shalom.
Face the east. Thank you, Father God, for another day, another night. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for all your blessings. Forgive us for all our sins, those that are known and unknown. Bless those who are less fortunate. Give us the strength to overcome the demons that we fight on a day-to-day basis. Father God, we just want to take this time to thank you. Thank you for the Sabbath. Thank you for your mercy, your glory, and your grace, which is worthy to be praised. Father God, we ask that you touch the teacher, that the lesson may come out strong and edifying to the nation. We ask that you bless the readers. They may read strong and loud, that the edification may edify the people. Father God, we pray for our strength. We thank you for our strength. We thank you for our health. Father God, we ask that you touch those that are in low spirits, touch those that are in bad health. Bring them back to speedy recovery, that we may be able to be dignified in unity in your works, that we may all go out and get the work done. Father God, we thank you for the sisters that are amongst us. Thank you for the warriors and the men that are amongst us. In your Son Christ's name, we pray for understanding, that you give us understanding of thy milk and thy meats and thy precepts, and give us the strength that we may be able to bring glory to thy name in all our deeds. In your Son Christ's name, we give you glory for the abundance of all things. Let the church say, Amen.
Amen.
Men, we say to the lovely women of Zion, Shalom and happy Sabbath.
Shalom and happy Sabbath.
And women, you say to the mighty men of Israel,
Shalom.
Shalom. All right, let's get into it. I'll now turn it over to yours truly.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Lord. Happy Sabbath, everyone. I'm Solomon the Benjamite here. I'm going to bring you guys a quick class that I'm going to bring you a class. And the class topic today will be called Don't Hold On, Be Patient. And the reason why the class is titled like that is because when we come into this truth, we have certain people or a certain person that we're close to or we have a strong bond with that we came up with in the world, or they could be a family member or a friend. But we got a hard, strong bond with these people that we feel like we just can't break or we can't let go, or it's hard to let go. But now you're in this truth and they don't like the new you. It's time to let go and don't let them pull you out of the truth. Stay strong and be patient. Here we go. With that, let's open up with Amos chapter 3 and verse 3.
Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
Right. Can two walk together except they be agreed? No. Can a lion and a zebra walk together? No, they can't. Why? Because the lion will start looking at this zebra like you are lunch to me. The first thing the lion gonna start thinking is the lion is the predator and the zebra is the prey. I mean, this lion go to that it'll never work out. That zebra gonna be lunch meat to that lion, and that's gonna be the end of that damn walking together. Right? Now look at it like this. Say I was coming into the truth, right? And I got this uncle. Me and him, we love to chill together. We kick it, we laugh. We used to do a whole bunch of wickedness together. He basically was like a father to me. He basically raised me growing up. And now with this same uncle, we did a lot of wickedness, strip clubs, smoking, hanging out, seeing how much women we can get, right? Then now I come in the truth and he don't like me changing. No, why? Because now we walk two different walks, two different paths. So he gonna be like, dang, I'm used to the old Solomon, the one who liked to walk around to me and see big booty shake up and down. That's who he used to. Right? Yeah, so.
Salakia, if I could I bring forth the scripture to go with what you were just saying?
Yeah, you can. Oh, yeah, of course.
I want Sirach chapter 13 and start at verse 15.
Sirach chapter 13 and verse 15. Sirach chapter 13 and verse 15. Every beast loveth his life, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Right, so the scripture, like how he was saying that the lion and the zebra ain't gonna walk together alone, because eventually the lion gonna start looking at that zebra like, damn, you do look kind of tasty.
Right.
So here the scripture is telling you, when he went to the scripture that said, can two walk together except they be agreed? The answer is right here when you read Sirach 13 and 15 again, please.
Sirach chapter 13 and verse 15. Every beast loveth his like.
Every beast loveth his like, meaning he like what's like him.
Right.
Go ahead.
And every man loveth his neighbor.
And every man loveth his neighbor. Go ahead.
All flesh consorteth according to kind.
Go ahead.
And a man will cleave to his like.
And a man will cleave to his like. So if we're not the same, we're not going to be able to walk together. We're not going to be in agreement. We may be word together at one point in life, but now that I'm in this truth, our likes is different.
Right.
All right. I will read the next verse, but I want to interrupt you.
Right. That was a great scripture. It actually was great. It went right along until what it was talking about. You can't be in agreement. There's no agreement between those zebra and the lion. That zebra going to be lunch meat. Cold cuts. He going to be more than that. He might be some zebra steak to that lion. But that's why the Most High said this, though. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14. That's why he said this right here. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14.
2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness?
Right. So the Most High started off by saying, be ye not, he said, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Right? You can't be equally yoked with a non-believer, because anything that comes out of the Bible or anything that you're trying to explain to him that the Most High God said, he's not going to believe it. He's an unbeliever. That's just like a mother can come to you and trying to explain something. Well, you trying to explain to your mother, look, mom, this is how I walk. This is what I believe. This is what I want to do because this is what the Bible says. Because they've been brought up in a different kind of believing, the truth sounds foreign to them. So all the time it's going to be a disagreement and y'all going to bump heads. Why? Because now you're unequally yoked. You're never going to be able to chill with your mother. You're never going to be able to chill with your father, brother, sister, none of them. You're going to bump heads at all times. You want to say something?
Yeah, being unequally yoked is also, you're dealing with a non-believer. And because they're not yoked with the same yoke as you,
right,
they're unequally yoked. So what it means is they're odds with you. They're opposite of you. So what's going to happen is you're trying to pull this way and they're pulling this way. So now, let's say if I'm making a garden, I'm trying to make straight rows to plant seeds.
Right.
If we've got a sled and we're pulling it, we both have to be pulling straight.
Right.
But if you're pulling this way, what's going to happen to the rows? They're going to be crooked. Now, being unequally yoked means their unrighteousness is stronger than your righteousness, meaning they're taking you from walking right to here you sinning here, you erring here.
Right. Then it says, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? There is no fellowship, because all the time you're going to be wanting to talk about the laws and commandments. They're going to want to talk about worldly things. Either it's going to happen either one or two ways. Either you're going to win them over with your conversation and your righteous acts, or they're going to pull you out with their wickedness and their unrighteous acts. That's why you have to you got to be strong. You got to be bred up in this truth, because your mother, it's hard breaking away from your mother. It's hard breaking away from your father. Even if you have a brother, it's hard breaking away from them. You're going to want to listen to what they got to say sometimes. But guess what? The Most High said you're not equally yoked with that person. If he's not going to convert, I was going to say something. If he's not going to come over and convert and keep these laws and commandments, there's no chilling with him. It's never going to work. It's going to be a head bump all the time. You're going to be like, man, I keep telling this man not to smoke this damn weed. He in my face blowing all this weed and smoke in my face. It's going to be a problem all of a sudden. Or it's going to happen like this. He's going to keep smoking that weed and he's going to pass it to you and you're going to hit that weed. And now you're in sin.
Like you. Can I get another scripture, please?
Yeah. Mind.
Sirach chapter 13 again. The verse that we didn't read, the one that I was going to hold up. It's a good time to pray. Sirach 13, and I believe that one was what, verse 15? 17? That's one. Okay, verse 17. Sirach 13, 17.
Sirach chapter 13 and verse 17. What fellowship have the wolf with the lamb?
What fellowship does a wolf have with a lamb? They have no fellowship whatsoever. We can't hang together. The only thing that wolf and that lamb understand is that goddamn you dinner. And that lamb, that's the only understanding that wolf has with that lamb. That lamb, to me, you're dinner. And you know what the only understanding that lamb have about that wolf?
I better run.
If I get close enough to you, you gonna eat me.
Right.
I'm gonna be your dinner. So guess what? As it is with the lamb and the wolf, read on.
So the sinner with the godly.
So is the sinner with the godly. You cannot be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Why? Because guess what? Just like that wolf wants to eat the lamb, that sinner wants to pull you out of the truth.
Right. That's absolutely right. And don't believe it. A sinner can do his dang job. Hang around. That's why the Most High told you to watch your time around when you with the wicked. Be observant of the time you're around them. Spend too much time with him, you end up getting pulled into it. Or you can spend a lot of time trying to convince him to come into the truth. After that, wash your hands with him. If you're not trying to change, wash your hands with him. Or you're going to end up back in the world.
Right.
You would end up ruining everything listening to what a sinner got to say. That's a sinner job. And it says, and what communion have light with darkness? They don't have no communion. The only thing that's going to happen is either that light is going to brighten up that darkness, or that darkness can drown out the light. That's the only thing that can happen between the darkness and the light. And we know that the light represents the laws and commandments, and the darkness represent the wickedness and evilness of the sinners. Now, you should want to be with brothers and sisters who are like-minded, walking and keeping and striving and pushing you forward to keeping the laws and commandments and being in the truth. Because anybody else in this world, any certain family member or friend is going to want to try to break that bond from you coming in, sitting down and learning, you coming in and wanting to do right. They're so used to seeing you do wrong. So they're like, I can't have that. So-and-so is changing. And it's not changing to where I like it. So let me change them back and get them back to where they were. They want you to slide and step back. They don't want you to keep moving forward. They don't want you to do better. So from there, let me get 2 Corinthians 13 and 11. You have some?
Now, I was going to touch on this part where you was talking about how you trying to convert them over. They don't change. You don't got the scripture tell you to deserve the time being around the wicked.
Right.
That means eventually you got to believe in be.
Right.
Because if you hang around them long enough, exactly what you said, they'll pull you back into the world. There'll be a little sin here, a little sin there, and then next thing you know, you become comforted in sin. You become harder through sin.
Right.
One of the precepts I always get when I'm talking about a situation like that is Proverbs 12 and 26. You got that?
Nah, it's crazy because I was flipping just off head, and that's where I was going.
Proverbs 12 and 26.
Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
So the scriptures tell you off top that the righteous is better than his neighbor. You are better than everybody else in the world. Why? Because you are righteous. You keep the commandments. Go ahead.
But the way of the wicked seduces them.
Now, here's the bad thing. It says, but you better than them, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. What is that telling you? That evil will fool you.
Right.
The ways of wicked people will seduce you into doing what? Evil deeds.
Right.
So you only have a certain amount of time to try to convert people. And don't fool yourself. You hear 2-3 years now still talking about you hanging with this wicked person still trying to convert them.
Right.
You are a sinner.
Right.
That's why you're still living, because everyone can sort of with this kind.
Right.
All right.
Right. And when I was talking about the changing, it's because the only thing that can change anyone when you come into the truth, or say somebody out there in the street and they start hearing the word. The only thing that's getting them to change, or that they heard that made them change, that makes them want to change, is Psalms 19 and 7.
Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
So the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. When you're converting something, that means you're changing it. So the law of the Lord is what changed the soul. It's what makes you want to do right, which make you want to come in and keep the laws and commandments, which what makes you want to do better. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. Mean, before you was in the truth, you was an idiot to the Most High. He was like, man, look at this damn idiot. But as soon as you came over and started keeping his laws and commandments, the Most High considers you wise. You became wise in his eyes now. Now you're a wise man. When people, you see it now today. You go to your family members, you go to somebody at work, you go to your friends, and you start speaking these laws and commandments. They be like, how old are you? You tell them your age. Well, boy, you speak wise, man. You real knowledgeable for a young man. No, it's just because you stupid for an old man. It's true, though.
Right. Okay. Salakia, can I get a scripture to come back with what he's saying? Not come back, but finish with. Like I was saying, how to making the wise and simple.
All right.
With the Most High, you are a goddamn fool. at first until you came to the truth. And the laws changed you. You were exactly that, a goddamn fool. I'm gonna show you just how much of a goddamn fool you was. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19. Because before you came into the world, you may have thought you were wise, but you were only wise in what? Worldly manners.
Right.
You were wise in the world. Well, let's see what that type of wisdom is to the Most High.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
So, yeah, you were wise in the world, but you were a goddamn fool to the Most High.
For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
That's it. That's it. So, like, but that lets you know. You may know some people in the world and they got a lot of wisdom out of the world. Guess what? For the Most High, they are goddamn simple. They are foolish. They are fools.
Right. And it's sad because we do look to the older people, father figures, mother figures, whoever they are, auntie, uncles. We look to them for wisdom. But when they start talking to you, they say everything that's stupid as hell. Go out there, live your life, young man. You ain't got nothing. You like 20 years old, huh? Go out there, sleep with as many women as you can.
Test the waters.
Test the waters. This is what our older, they supposed to be telling you something like, get married, settle down, have kids, build a future, build your life. Except they're telling you to do all kind of wickedness.
That is the advice of one who what? Hates you.
Right, they hate you.
Why? Because the scripture tells you, hate not thy brother, but love thy brother, rebuke them, and suffer not what?
Sin upon them.
Don't suffer sin upon them. So for me to tell you to go test the waters, there's plenty fish in the sea. All of that, what am I doing? I'm condoning sin. I'm telling you to go out there and give your body to a couple dudes and decide which one is the best one to be with.
Right.
Well, today the Most High ain't playing. You go out there and test the water today, you might come back with something.
Right.
Like,
That's good. And it's a shame because, like, when you come in the truth, nobody wants you to be around these brothers and sisters because they start saying things like you're in the code. They start saying things like they're trying to change your mind. They want to control you. That's not what it is. When we are here with each other, what we're doing is comforting each other and hoping that we get to the kingdom. That's the things that we're trying to head towards and get to. We're trying to get to the kingdom. So let me get 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. All right.
2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. Finally, brethren, farewell. Be perfect, be of good comfort, be of one mind, live in peace, and the God of love and peace shall be with you.
Right. So this was Paul's farewell letter, meaning that this was his words before he left the Corinthians. Before he left that place, he was saying, comfort yourself around brothers and sisters that's keeping the laws and commandments, who's in the truth. Those brothers and sisters who encourage you to change. That's letting you know, hey, listen, brother, when you was in the world, when you was sleeping with all these multiple women, that was called whoremongering, brother. You need to change yourself. Or brothers that you could come to for righteous counsel and advice. Not these wicked behind people in the world who want you to do the things against the Most High. He's saying be around brothers who's like-minded, who's on one accord, who has the same mindset. All the brothers who strive to get to the kingdom. All the brothers and sisters who have that same kind of approach, the same kind of walk, that's who you want to be around. Now, from there, let me get Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2.
Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind.
So it says, fulfill my joy. So this is a joy to the Most High, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. When you come in the truth, we all supposed to have one mind. And it's all supposed to be on the one accord of keeping these laws and commandments, not off of living your life how you want to. That's a damn fool's mindset. Why the Most High is not feeling that? You try to live your life how you want to, the only thing you're going to lead yourself to is the depths of hell. I'm trying to be around brothers and sisters who keeping the laws and commandments. If I'm doing wrong, they coming down on me, but with righteous judgment. Let me get Romans chapter 15 and verse 5.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 5. Romans chapter 15 and verse 5. Now the God of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded one toward another according to Christ.
Right. So the Most High God is full of patience to those which are Israelites who keep his laws and commandments. And that word consolation means to comfort after a loss or disappointment. And the Most High, he's always here for us, no matter what, the rough time, the bad times, when people turn their backs on us, when people want to give up on us, the Most High is here for us. He says the same mindset according to Christ. Why? Because Christ was keeping the laws and commandments and understood that, hey, listen, me doing the Father's work, I'm going to lose a lot. Not only am I going to lose a lot, I know there's going to be people who's going to stop following me, but I don't care about that. As long as I keep doing my Father's work and I keep doing the will. And what we have to understand is all the people in the world, family members, when you come into the truth, this is going to be their mindset. Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 22.
Isaiah chapter 48.
Verse 22.
Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked.
There will never be peace with the wicked. Why? Anytime you get somebody calling your phone, or anytime you meet up with one of your family member or friend in the world, what's going to happen? They full of what? Drama at all times. You like, I just got off work, have to deal with these crackers all day. Have to dealing with Esau, have to dealing with the white man. You calling me with more drama, with more stress than I already can handle in my life. But you trying to put more on my plate than what I can bear. So it's never peace with the wicked. Or you can be having a good day. Everything perfect, everything going swell and well. Soon as that phone blow up, you seeing the name of your phone, you're like, damn. I know this can't be good news. You pick up that phone and your whole mood is like everything got sucked out of your day.
Right.
You don't think about the good no more, and now all you can focus on is like, dang man, this is the news they giving to me. Look, they call my phone talking trash to me. I'm stupid. I'm everything else. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. He said you can't eat pork. It's right here in this verse. That say Thanksgiving. They ain't say you can eat pork. The wicked is nothing but the wicked will drive you insane. They'll drive you crazy. From there, let me get Ephesians 4 and 2. Before you go there, no, just give me Ephesians 4 and 2.
Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 2. With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love.
So it says, with all lowliness and meekness, meaning to be humble, with long suffering. Why with long suffering? Is because when you come into the truth, there's going to be many obstacles thrown your way. Many obstacles daily coming towards your way. It's going to have to be long suffering. But who you want to have the long suffering with is your brother and sister in the truth. Why? Because a lot of us been through these things before. So we know that we can either give you counsel to go through it, or we can give you advice for that thing. If go to anybody in your family member and go try to talk to them about any advice. The advice is gonna be wicked as hell. At the end of the day, you're gonna follow their advice and be in a bigger hole, than was usual. Now, of course, when a lot of these people turn from you, you're gonna need somebody to go to. Mm-hmm. And the people I want to go to, It's the people I know who've been through something. It's the people who gonna open up this Bible and show me, hey, listen. Right here says don't do that, brother. Repent. I'm gonna have to correct you again. But it's gonna be long suffering because we're gonna go through a lot in this truth. From there, give me Galatians 6 and 9.
Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Right. So don't be weary. Don't be troubled. Don't be worried. Don't let these things get you down. Continue to do good in this truth. Continue to walk righteously, because in due season you will reap your reward. The Most High, He's taking notes of all things that we're doing. So there should be nobody in your life. I don't care what kind of friend he was. And man, we've been through the trenches together. I don't care what nobody in your household, what y'all been through. Keep doing these laws and commandments so you can reap that reward of getting into the kingdom. Because that's what we're trying to get to.
All righty. Let me get Galatians 6 and 9 again.
Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Right. So the scripture said, be not weary and well doing. Because remember, the topic of the class to begin with was don't hold on. Don't be afraid to cut people loose. If you got people amongst you that ain't in the truth, that ain't walking right, don't become weary and fainted and sad and sorrowful because you have to let those people go. Do what's right and well in due season. You'll reap what you had to give up. Whatever you had to lose to bear arms in this truth, the Most High is going to give it back to you tenfold.
Right.
Remember, for some of us, we had to give up the relationships that we once had with our mothers. Some of us had to give up relationships we had with our sisters, brothers, cousins, best friends, whatever the case may be. You had to lose those things to endure in this truth. Well, what did Christ say? Who is my mother? Who is my brother? Go to Matthew's. Matthew's 12. Matthew's 12 is around verse 40 something, 46. Yeah.
All right. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 46. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brother stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother? And who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
Right. So right there, just a clear example of how you may come in the truth and you may have to lose your mother's relationship. That strong tie hold and bond that y'all may have had in the past. You may have to lose that for your sake of keeping the commandments. But the Most High said, Christ himself said, well, if I lost who is my mother? Mm-hmm. Who is my brother? Who are they? Your family are them who do what? Keep the commandments. So whatever you lose to keep your saying and your walk righteous in this truth, you shall receive it back.
Right.
Go to Matthew 16:25.
Matthew chapter 16 and verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
All right, go back up to 24.
Verse 24. Then said Christ unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose.
Right. So you got some things that in this world you would rather keep that than to give it up to keep to walk in this truth. You afraid to let go of certain things. Well, if that's the case, you're gonna say those things, then you're gonna lose your life. Go ahead.
And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
All right. I want to find something else. That wasn't what I was looking for. But it explains what I'm trying to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to lose some things to walk right in this truth.
Right.
And in doing that, you can't be weary about doing it. Remember, you read about in the scriptures, a young boy gave up his chance to walk with Christ because he didn't want to sell the gains that he had. So yeah, he gained the whole world, but lost his only soul in the midst of it.
Right.
Some of you are going to come into this truth, and you're going to lose your only chance to the kingdom because you don't want to cut people off. You don't know how to cut ties with people that don't mean no good for you in this walk. Let me get I don't know where he wanted to go. So now with that, go to what you holding? No. Go to Romans 15:4 again.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
So we read the scriptures and we see in the scriptures that in this walk, we have examples of people who both let go of things and save their souls. And then we have scriptures of those who didn't let go of things and they destroyed them souls. Which one will you be? Are you going to be the one that can't let go? Or are you going to be the one that saves your soul?
Right.
Because in the end, though the hand join hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished.
Right.
I think we've seen a lot of us, when we come into the truth, we think we're going to come in, it's going to be roses, like you got rose-colored glasses on. You think everything's peaches and cream and it's sweet and it's good now. And that's not the goddamn case. When you get here, the battle just begins.
Right.
Some of you are not built to run this race. Some of you ain't gonna make it past start.
Right.
This isn't a damn 100-meter dash. This is a marathon. And one thing we know about a marathon, most people who start out don't finish. So now, don't be afraid to let go. So I'm Matthew 26.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse 6. Now when Christ was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, they came up to him, a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Christ understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she have wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she have poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also that this woman